Big Z Reviews. No Time to Die is the newest James Bond film and the last of this Daniel Craig generation of James Bond films, and I really enjoyed it.
We used to be able to get into a room with the enemy, and now they're just floating in the ether.
When her secret finds its way out, it'll be the death of you.
Oh my God.
Target enough people.
Number of people become the weapon.
So leading up to this, I watched all of the previous James Bond films on 4K, like on one a night, and I enjoy doing them again. But it's so funny. Essentially, they're good, bad, and then now again, it's good. Like they alternate from good to bad. This is Daniel Craig anthology, and this one is directed by Cary Joji Fukunaga, and of course it stars Daniel Craig. And again, the main Bond girl is Lee Seydoux, as the one that he kind of ran away with in the last one. And like the newest ancillary Bond girl is Ana de Armas. And I really like her character, but it's kind of funny. The whole, like, watching them again back to back, like, it's interesting to see that they really had a tendency to brutally murder anyone he happens to be attracted to James Bond. And it's like, it's a little odd, like how many of them are brutally murdered, like after he screws them, or he even just like kind of acts like he's going to screw him and then runs away to do something after he gets the information he needs. Like, it's a very recurring theme in all of the films that's just a little bit odd. This one, they don't do, though. And it's good because Ana de Armas, like, she isn't in it much, but she's, like, really good. I like her character. She's cool. But, and this, the villain is Rami Malek. And I like him, but he's not one of the better James Bond villains. Like, really, the Casino Royale, like, he was one of the best villains. But watching him again, Casino Royale is almost a perfect film. Like, they have Ava Green, I believe her name, like, probably the most beautiful Bond girl ever, maybe. And they have Mads Mikkelsen, is one of the best Bond villains ever. And he is such a great villain. I think, like, the movie kind of takes a turn, spoiler for Casino Royale, when he dies. And then, like, the fourth act of Casino Royale is where, like, that was all before was my favorite. But watching them again this time, I think my favorite was Skyfall. Just because the fourth act, it kind of falls apart a bit. Because, like, after he dies, and you have, like, these, like, other villains that pop up. They even have another guy with a weird eye. And it's like, so, what's going on with this? You know, it's just, it's an odd choice. And it kind of, like, I feel like it could have ended before. And, like, but at the same time, Ava Green as Vesper dying kind of informs this character of this James Bond. You know, it's very important, and like he kind of doesn't trust anyone else after this. And in the second one, Quantum of Solace, is definitely the worst of these James Bond films. It's weird because it feels like it's trying to be a direct sequel to the first one, but like most of the plot points are directly from that one. Like they don't try to do anything new or different with it, and it just falls flat in its face for the most part. Like the villain is really bad and just really forgettable too. But then Skyfall, watching it again this time, I think Skyfall is definitely the best of these Bond films. And again, you have an excellent villain, and like, there's some interesting stuff. Like, again, all the Bond women are kind of ancillary in this one, but I mean, there's like they have the excellent villain, Javier Bardem, and there's also the whole thing where he has the history with Judi Dench, and like the whole she is kind of like the Bond girl for this one a little bit, more the mother role. Like, I mean, there's a lot of interesting stuff, and they have the whole scene when he goes back to his home. Like, there's so much great stuff in this. I guess it's kind of like the perfect Bond film. Like, there's twists and turns and a lot of excellent stuff. And I think watching it again, that is like the best. And then there's Spectre. That's another one that's just pretty bad. Like, the villain, they had the whole thing, that Spectre is huge, but like, the kind of how they introduce it is kind of and the villain, he's okay, and he comes back in this one, Christoph Waltz, but he just, I didn't really like it. And then they have that the one that in this one too, the French woman, I think, that comes up, and that is now the one true love of James Bond. And like they have the beginning of they have to separate because he doesn't trust her because there was a trap set at the grave of Vesper. But like I don't like, she's not one of the better Bond girls, but she's not horrible. I don't think she's okay. But like for this one, the main villain again, Rami Malek. But like I like that they kind of what happens with like essentially he is trying to get revenge on Spectre and kill everyone. So like you think they would like the friend of my my enemy is my friend. So I think he'll be in line with James Bond, but then his what he wants to do with this this like DNA targeted virus that the British intelligence designed from a Russian scientist, which is a little over the top, but it's Russian scientists. What are you gonna do? But like I think some stuff of that is pretty cool. But at the same time, I wish they gave him more reason for why he wanted to kill a bunch of people. Like all he says is like, I just want to make the place a little tidier. And it's like, okay. And then see you being the evil madman, and it's like a Bond villain. Like, yeah, that's fine. But I wish it would have just given him a little bit more reason for what he was doing. But I didn't hate it, And like some of the scenes, there's a lot of great action scenes in this. And like the set piece towards the end, when they go on this island and they have to try to stop whatever crazy world domination plan he has, like is long, but it doesn't feel long. This movie in general is long, but it didn't really ever feel that long. And also, I almost forgot that there's like Lashana Lynch is like the new 007 because he's retired essentially. And there was like back, not even this time, but like back before the pandemic, before movie was delayed so much, there was like a controversy like woman 007. Oh, I'm so mad. Oh, like, but like she's kind of not relatively ancillary. Like doesn't do that much in this. Like she's kind of just like doing like a little bit of competition for Bond, but she's fine. I liked her. Like she did well in her role as she had to do, like kind of helping Bond towards the end. And as the last movie for this Bond, Daniel Craig's Bond, I think this is a really proper send off. I think this is maybe the first time it ever happened with Bond. I think, but like generally it's just they kind of ended like, oh, there's new Bond now. Well, this is kind of like a true ending. Like they put a cap on his storyline, and it's really interesting that they were able to do this. And I honestly I hope for the next one, whenever we do get another Bond, honestly I would like to see a very young Bond. Like, even when Daniel Craig started, they went. This is after Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, and they try and do more realistic, down to earth James Bond. It's also after the Spy Who Shagged Me, like making fun of all the Bond. They couldn't do that sort of Bond stuff. But I wouldn't mind being too like bringing back some of the spy craft stuff, and maybe have it be someone young. And I mean, I don't think it should be a woman because then it's like a different character. The big part of the character is like the womanizing. But I mean, I guess it could be a gay guy. It could be bisexual, I guess. I don't know, or even be like an Indian or a black British guy, not American. The only thing James Bond can't be is American. But but for this one, I think I'm not going to spoil it, but it kind of reminded me like the end of James Bond in this. Reminded me a little bit of. I guess this is only a spoiler if you know the books by Robin Hobb, like Fifth Chivalry Farseer. His ending slightly reminded me of this, and I like what they do with some tricky stuff that they do, and it's interesting. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed this film. I think it'll hold up as well. I think It definitely ends on a high note, and I'm really glad they're able to do that. Probably give it like an 8.75 out of 10. So thanks for watching. If you want to see more of me, you can subscribe down below. Thanks.